Today we have allegedly the best no limit hold'em in the nation right now. The kid is trending on every socials. He's
At,
trending on Twitter,
at
Facebook,
all stakes,
Instagram.
the best. I haven't heard this one.
Literally, allegedly. I didn't say the.
I've
It's
heard I've heard 1,600 and under. The
1600 and
top.
under.
That's
Okay,
I'm
allegedly
going.
the.
I want 10Ks and under. That's the next goal. I want to be known as one of the best in all 10Ks and under.
Damn, you
So
even cut me off in your introduction.
hopefully I can
We
get
haven't
that
even
going.
started yet. Okay,
Restart.
this is the main thing, the main cause of this emergency podcast. It's very urgent to talk about your crossbook. People are talking about it. Twitter is talking about it. Um, break it down in layman's terms. The people that don't understand how crossbooks work. We all know your opponent is allegedly one of the second best crushers in no limit hold'em. He studied. He does the solver work on OnlyFriends. He's always talking about solver this, solver that. And they said, I don't know whose podcast, they said man versus machine. So you're the man, you play the man, you don't do any studying. And the kid, Tice, is always like in the solver world. Tell us a little bit about the crossbook. What does it entail? How does it work? And I have a couple questions from the chat, but just break it down for us. How does it work?
All right. So a crossbook is basically like, let's say, I cash a tournament for $12,000. You would basically owe me 12,000. So like, if I won $12,000 profit, if you're cross booking me, like, you have to pay me 12,000. Let's say I
Wait,
lost.
wait. Give us. Sorry to interrupt you. Give us preliminary. Like, what is the amount of tournaments, first of all, and tell us how the whole thing started. Like, explain to the people how the whole thing started. How the whole thing came about. Who talked about it? Why did they choose Tice? And
What do you want me to say first?
like, how did the whole thing start from the start?
I would say the whole thing started because Matt Berkey was somewhat bullying Jonathan Little, just coming at Jonathan Little. And this was while a series in the Poker Go studio was going on. So Jonathan Little was playing every day. Daniel was playing every day. I was in there. And basically, Daniel just like had seen enough of it on Twitter and started coming at Berkey a little bit, saying like, just basically like trying to give him a taste of his own medicine of what he was doing to Jonathan Little.
Did you see all the tweet? Was it on Twitter that he was
Yeah,
bullying?
basically Jonathan Little's like coaching site, I guess, puts out these like tips, but it's like it'll be like to beat your local 2-5 game, you should do this and that. And Berkey was basically saying it's a bunch of bullshit, I guess. Basically, and then he started like making fun of the tweets. Like he would put out these tweets saying like, if you want to win in poker, like mocking him and putting
Hmm.
like bad information out there, but like doing it as a joke, you know?
Before we continue, what do you think about Jonathan Little's content? And I'll tell you my 2 cents on Jonathan Little's content. What do you think about it? That like going up the ranks, playing poker. Have you watched any of his content? Was it valuable to you? Did you gain
I've
anything?
I've never seen any of his stuff. I don't really know anything about it, but I know that I know someone who like works for him, as in like he's a pro and he gets paid like X amount for every content video he puts out on their website. And he's like a very good player. I know that he has a lot of good players that work for him with the same deal. Like basically Jonathan pays them X amount to put out content videos about whatever. And that's how it works. And then they also do private coaching. And there's a lot of great players who work under him. So I'm sure it's like a good investment if you're like join their website or whatever it is. But I don't
But
know.
like,
I've never seen
so
Jonathan
you've never
Little's.
seen his content. You've never seen Jonathan Little's content.
No.
My 2 cents. I've watched his content long time ago, and I've liked a lot of his thought process. And he stayed relevant over the years. Like before Solvers, before 2015, he was putting out content, and I thought it was beneficial. I benefited from it. And then after 2015, 2016, all the coaches that like didn't follow solvers and GTO didn't stay relevant. He stayed relevant. Like he started like plugging in some hand histories and solvers and stuff and talking about the GTO. So I thought his content was always good. Anyway, so Berkey was given shit to Jonathan Little. Negrano came back at Berkey on Twitter.
Negranu came to Jonathan Little's defense, and
Right.
then Berkey came at Negranu for a specific hand played on stream where Negranu made a ridiculous fold that wasn't right. And basically Daniel said like his reasoning, how like he's not just calling the flop, the dude's gonna barrel and he can't really call down with ICM and all this shit. Like Daniel had his own reasoning. He
What is
stands
the
by
hand? Do you remember the hand? Because I haven't seen this.
Daniel had pocket nines and Jesse Lonis had air. And Jesse like c-betted an ace high board. And Daniel just folded on the flop to a small bet. And Berkey like
Was
came
it
at
like
him.
ace low low? Like was it ace 4-5 or ace?
I think it was ace low low, but Daniel had his reasoning. He's like, Jesse's just gonna keep barreling like with ICM. He can't call down, whatever. Like it's just a guessing game on any overcards. Like basically he had his logic and Berkey was like, it doesn't matter. You have to call the small C bet. And Daniel just started like coming at him a little, saying like, dude, you're welcome in the studio anytime. Like, show me how it's done, you know? And obviously Berkey's not going to do that. And so they just started butting heads a little bit. But it all started because Daniel stuck up for Jonathan Little because he didn't think it was right what was going on. And basically, yeah, I mean, Daniel's trying to get some Berkey money. Berkey's got a lot of it apparently from Airball. He just won $1 million in that heads up thing. Plus, I guess he's killing these cash games. So Daniel thought if he puts this tweet out about like possible matchups at the World Series to bet on, that they would bite. And it took like, I believe he said 7 minutes to get a response and a bet booked.
So he thought of the first horse he would think of as you, and then the horse
He
that
just knows that like Berkey's not playing. Berkey's not gonna like bet anyone in a Crossbook in a World Series, but like Landon is like his protege, I guess, and like Daniel backs me, so he thinks that like we have an edge. So he's like, I could get him here. Let's put this tweet out and see what happens. And right away, he got a response from them saying, let's bet. And that's really just how it started. It all started because it has nothing to do with me and Landon. Me and Landon are cool. Like, I talk to Landon. Like, there's no problems whatsoever.
You guys are just pawns in this war.
Yeah,
it's
we're
like
just
a chess match. And
I mean, we
you're
both love to play poker. It's honestly a win-win. I mean, even if I were to lose this bet, which I don't think I will, but I mean, it's tournaments, man. There's lots of variance. Like, anything can happen. Like, not saying that like I'm a favorite or anything. Like, according to the sports books, I guess I am, but I think it's an even bet. Like, I wouldn't give odds. Like, we're doing a summer of tournaments. But yeah, I mean, even if I were to lose, all these major poker companies are like covering it. Like, I've gotten like sponsorships out of it. Like, it's a big story this summer, and it's getting a lot. What is it? What's the saying? All
the
publicity is there's no bad
and
publicity or something.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, unless like you're fucking someone over with money or you scam someone or something, I'd say all publicity is good publicity. And
of course,
I don't think me and Landon are fucking anybody out of any money here. So,
I think it's a win-win for poker in general. Just the heads up, you know, the whole battle between you and Tice and the way they kind of phrased it, that man versus solver. It's good for poker. It's got hype and it's, you know, trending everywhere. Okay, so Negrano threw the bait, Berkey took the bite.
That's the story I got. Who knows if he's bullshitting me? But the story I was told was he put the bait out there and they got it.
They got it. Line, hook, and sinker.
Your original question, just to explain what a crossbook is.
Yes, layman terms. Let's say I don't play poker. I'm a normal civilian. Yeah. They say crossbook. Explain what crossbook. So now we know how it started, but go into details of how it works.
Let's say for the entire summer, right? let's be an optimist here. I try to be optimistic, positivity. You know, let's say I win $1 million.
Hashtag positivity.
Yeah. Let's say I win $1 million even. I finish the summer plus $1 million. Let's say Landon. Now, honestly, well, let me finish with the Crossbook first. Let's say Landon, just for simple numbers, loses $500,000. Now, obviously that's very tough to do, but just to explain the Crossbook very easily, I win 1 million, he loses $500,000. Berkey would pay Negreanu 1.5 million. You understand?
Wait, so he would have to cover your wins, plus he has to cover how much Tice has lost?
Yeah, it's the difference. So let's say I win $1 million and Landon wins 500,000. He has to pay 500,000. It's the difference. You understand?
The difference. Okay, the difference. I got
So
you.
if one wins and one loses, it's the difference.
The difference.
If let's say I win $100 total and Landon wins $150, Negreanu loses $50.
I see now. Okay, that makes sense. Another thing, just to explain to the audience,
there are
the amount of tournaments, like the amount of money, and is it just WSOP or is it just any tournaments you guys enter, the same tournament that you guys enter?
That's a big misconception. It is not mutually played tournaments. It's all tournaments for the summer. So let's say we don't play the same. I mean, this isn't going to happen. We're going to be playing a lot of the same tournaments. Let's say we play none of the same tournaments. That doesn't matter. Negreanu's cross-booking all of Landon's action, and Berkey's cross-booking all of my action, whether we both play them or not. For every buy-in, 10K and under, it's cross-booked across town for the whole summer. Now, I know Landon's going to play. I think he's playing the 25K heads up for sure. I think I'm going to fire at least 125K full ring. And I believe if we both mutually play the same 25K, it will count. But whether it's mutual or not mutual, 10Ks and under are all cross-booked.
Oh, 10K and under. So, I mean, I heard the amount is 250K that they have you covered. Do you have to reach 250K or the 250K is the ceiling?
No.
The most?
50K is per tournament. So let's say that I win the Millionaire Maker for $1 million. They only lose 250,000 for that tournament. It's per tournament.
I see.
So, like, if someone were to win the main event for 12 million, Berkey doesn't lose 12 million. He loses 250,000 for that specific tournament.
250. Oh wow, that's
250 cap per tournament. But I believe it's possibly going to 500,000. They're still they've agreed on a bet, but they're still working out a couple stuff.
So what is the amount of, is there no amount of tournaments? It's whatever you fire this summer as far as buy-ins. There's no limit on.
It's total ROI, so buy-ins count. So like it's profit. It's profit and losses.
Profit and loss, but there's no limit on how much you can buy. Like let's say you fire 250K. Like there's no limit on.
No, it's 250K per tournament.
Per tournament, yeah. But as far as total buy-ins, there's no limit on total buy-ins. Not as far as Crossbook, as far as buy-ins. I thought when I heard 250K, I understood that 250K is the total amount of tournaments played. Like that is the amount of tournaments you're gonna fire.
The 250K is just how much you can lose in one tournament.
I see. I totally misunderstood. But as far as tournaments total, there's no number, right? You're just gonna fire everything.
There is no number. I'll be playing almost every day, if not every day. I know he says he'll be doing the same. We'll see. I mean, I can't speak for him, but I know we're both going into this expecting to play a poker tournament every day. There is an incentive to play at the WSOP. We do have a bracelet bonus. I believe if you win a bracelet, it is an extra 100,000 right now. I thought the easiest way to do this personally would be just WSOP because they could track everything, and that way we're both playing the same tournaments every day. But I know they wanted to be able to go all over town, so Daniel really didn't care, like, oh, I'm only doing the bet if this or that. That was more them. Daniel's cool with whatever. So they wanted all the venues, so that is going to have not as many mutual events, but that's just what the bet is.
I mean, as far as tracking, Hand Mob is gonna track everything. It's not like,
Well, no, it's ROI, so we're taking buy-ins into account.
what do you mean?
Like, let's say you fire 8 bullets in a 1K at Venetian, right?
Uh huh.
That's minus 8,000. Hendon Mob's not tracking that, you know.
That's the thing. How are you gonna track buy-ins? How even if you play WSOP, who's gonna track buy-ins at the
Well,
WSOP?
all these places you can get a printout, like a sheet of how you're doing, you know.
Oh, I see. I didn't take that into account.
So
So
honestly, I'm backed for the world over a certain buy-in level, and I don't think I'll be playing any small buy-ins other than like Colossus and like what else is there? Maybe the Gladiator if I play, but he's back too. So I mean, you know, when you're back, you buy in, you take a picture of the slip and you send it to your backer. So I mean, we'll have all the data saved and whatnot. I mean, there's a lot of trust here on both sides. I think I know me, I would never cheat in any sort
right,
of
yeah,
thing. I'm assuming they're the same, but these places, like at the end of the summer, you go to Benicia and say, "Hey, I need my printout of all my buy-ins and all my cashes." You can get it just for what's the word? Transparency, I guess.
yeah,
So it
uh,
should be good. I think it would be easier if it was just WSOP, but we're doing everywhere, so
yeah. I don't think trust is gonna be an issue on either side.
yeah.
I think you guys will keep it clean. Okay, so you covered the crossbook. You want to see what the chat has? We have like a couple questions from the chat.
Yeah, whatever you want.
Joshua Nicholson asked. He asked a question that we covered on another podcast, but we'll ask it again. When you're playing in an event where you're backed, oh, actually, my bad. Joshua's question hasn't been covered before. I was talking about another question. When you're playing in an event where you're backed, have you experienced less pressure, allowing you to play more freely, or more pressure, not wanting to let down the backers, or have you found that it doesn't affect you either way? You got the question, or you want me to say
Yeah.
it?
I would definitely say at the beginning of my deal, which was the World Series last year, I definitely, I don't want to say I played scared, but I played more conservative because if I lose my own money, that's on me. You know, like I don't care. Like it's my money. Where they're putting a lot of faith in me, and it's like if I lose their money, even though like Daniel and Josh are super rich, like I don't know, you never want to lose someone else's money who's believing in you. So I'd say at first, I don't know if I played different, but I'd say I probably didn't go for it as much. Um, where now that's not the case at all. I play exactly the same. Um, I don't want to say I go even harder in these bigger buy-ins now for them, but I know they don't care. Like there have been plenty of instances, especially last summer, where like I bust and I just don't rebuy because like I don't know, I don't want to lose more of their money in this tournament.
Hmm.
Where if it were my own action fully, I 100% would just keep rebuying. Where now that's totally different. Like now it doesn't matter. I look at it completely the same. But for anyone that doesn't know, I don't think I ever talked about this. So at the end of the world, our deal was just for the World Series last year, and at the end of the World Series, it was up to me if I wanted to continue the deal or not, and I chose not to. I just I don't know, being in makeup at times like didn't sit right with me. I just wanted it like I don't know. I felt like it was more responsible of me to just play what I can afford with my own money. And then what happened was about 2 months later, month and a half later, there were some big buy-ins coming up. And I don't know, I was just talking with people and I wanted to give it another shot, like change my mindset a little bit. So I contacted them and they were cool doing the deal again. And yeah, it's been great ever since. I definitely don't play any different now. I'll, as long as they let me buy in and registration's open, I'll rebuy if I need to. Like, it's cool. I mean, they believe in me. I truly have. This is a very big advantage, and I'd say to play tournaments, I correctly, everybody should have this, which is obviously super hard, but bankroll management is really so important. I pretty much have just endless money behind me. So like I can just play any tournament I want. If I bust 100 times, they're gonna say try 101. Like they're just like it's very easy to play poker just solely based on decisions where like the chips don't have a dollar value. Where like if you need to bluff and go for it in the spot, like you just can. And if it doesn't work out, that's okay. You have plenty of money left to try again.
It does take a lot of pressure out of the equation for
Yeah.
sure. Like you said,
Whereas
having endless money. By the way, funny thing that happened with Justin. You know, Justin. Shout out to Justin Fawcett. You know, we recorded that little video. Him
I
saying
seen it. I saw it.
we gotta bet all your chips, and he took it to heart. The kid fired like 6 or 7 bullets in the
Yeah.
main event.
Yeah, you got to be all in a lot on
I
a
don't know
lot
if
of
we should
rivers.
blame you for, saying, and he told me on break, I'm like, Justin, like, slow down. You don't have to just, because he was playing PLO the night before for like 12, his sessions are insane, 12, 13, 14 hours. And it's hard to adjust when you play PLO because you're going for it in spots. And then you play tournament, you don't want to put all the chips in every time. He's like, no, no, no. He's like, Becker said, you got to put the chips in multiple
Yeah.
times. And he took it to heart, but the kid fired too many bullets.
I'd say pretty much any form of gambling like um I mean, my girlfriend works at the Wynn. She's a cocktail server. So sometimes like if I get out in a tournament or something, I'll play roulette or something and like wait for her to get off work or something if she doesn't have that much longer left. And always, if I'm playing roulette or something, the next day I'm gambling at the table, and that's not good. So any form of gambling, I think, whether you're betting sports, you're playing like blackjack, I think all of this affects your poker in a negative way. So a
100%.
12-hour PLO session before a tournament's probably not a great idea. Now, if you're running good, you might fucking chip the thing, but you're probably not
Yeah,
gonna.
losing in any form of gambling, coming back and playing tournaments, to be in that winning mindset, that winning momentum, and you do something that you lose at, it messes up your whole. I don't know what the word is. I can't think of it. But anyway, yeah, definitely gambling pits. Or have you contacted Jimmy Farnsworth for strategy on roulette? Because he claims he wins at like 90,
Listen,
95
I really don't
percent.
like mentioning Jimmy Farnsworth on the pod again. You still owe me
Damn.
$100 for that, but
Whoa.
he he is truly listen. He's a good person. He has a good heart, and that's what I care about. But he
He is a
needs
good
help.
person.
Seriously, somebody needs to get him help because this guy's making posts saying how he could beat roulette. I promise you, if it was possible, it wouldn't be in the casino. And he's making posts. He's the best roulette player in the world. He's gonna win 10,000 a day. Meanwhile, I'm not gonna call anyone out, but I've heard from somebody that I know who's seen him in Tampa, and while he's talking about winning this 10,000 a day, they see him on the roulette table looking really sad with $45 in front of him. So I don't know what's going on. I'm just telling you what I've heard and what my friend has seen. But Jimmy, stop telling people that you could beat roulette, man. You can't. All right. You're
I
gonna lose. Now, I will say in Jimmy's defense, he has a better chance at beating roulette than he does at beating poker.
Oh,
So, well,
damn.
that's just fact. I'm not like I
Whoa,
think he knows that.
that's
But
insane. I thought he
Jimmy,
was.
sorry to break it to you, you're not gonna take the casino out, man. They're gonna get you. Okay.
Damn. And I mean, when he talks about his edge, he doesn't say like I have 3% edge over the casino,
Yeah,
like
he's a
something is 5%,
96% winner.
95%.
Yeah.
So 9.5 times out of 10, he's walking into the casino and walking out with cash in hand.
I will tell him to go win 100,000 tomorrow and have someone video it.
Oh, I mean, and I don't know, but
I mean,
did they
it's
let you video at the craps and roulette table? Did they let you take video?
I mean, like he can't take a video of himself, but like if someone's standing like away from the table, they could video him.
Damn. Okay, I have a question from Hunter Menke, a grinder here in Tampa, and a friend. What did he do that's led him to crushing tournaments? Study habits, discipline, and everything else that's worked best for himself. We covered that in the last pod, but you can go over it a little bit. Basically, what did you do to crush tournaments?
Study habits, I'd say I just watched um, high rollers. I watched final tables of high roller tournaments. That's really it, honestly, for studying. Um, what else did he say? Discipline. I'm probably not the best at discipline. I mean, if they let me buy in, I'll buy in. There's no like maximum cap. There's no like, I'm not going to. Actually, I'd say before I was backed, I was very good about selling action. So discipline wise, like let's say I'm playing a big buy-in, like I'll sell whatever percent I need to sell in order to play the tournament comfortably. Because if you're playing like scared money or like you're just like gonna shy away from like a spot that needs to be taken, like you're never gonna win. So I was good about that, like not having too much of myself, not having too much of myself in tournaments. Um, what was the other part of the question?
Study habits. He said study habits, discipline, and anything else that's worked best for himself.
I'd say something that I do well. Now, sometimes it turns into shit. I'll actually give an example from today. But I'd say I go with my gut and like I'm not scared to like go with my read. Like now, usually it works out, and I'd say like I am known as like a live read guy. Like I'm not doing any math. I'm playing the person and like just my intuition and feeling. Like I truly go off that. But today, I'll tell you, I was dead wrong in a spot. Um, I just got moved to this table too, but I'm just going off. Um, what's the word? I guess tendencies. It went 2K big blind. Dude opens 4,500. Um, button. Dude opens early. Button three bets 10K, which is very small. Now, generally, and they were super deep. I'd say typically, now this isn't true like with everybody, but I would say typically three bets with small sizes like that, like non-final table, like we're still, I believe like 22 spots got paid in this tournament and there's like 45 left. So like we're not even like in the money or near the money. I'd say smaller three bets are weaker in general. Like,
You
I
think?
mean,
I was
at
gonna say the opposite.
at lower stakes, I'd for sure say because like let's say someone opens 4,500, right? And I'd say the typical player, let's say they have like kings, they're probably going to make it like 3x at least, which you should make your raise sizes the exact same whether you're bluffing or have value.
Of course.
But I'd say typically the average recreational does not. So this actually got me. It was a lady too. She got me. Well played. If she ever sees this, I don't know who it is. I've never seen her before. Older lady, probably like 70 years old. She played me. I just got moved to this table too. She made a 10K. And I just seen her the hand before. I seen her block the river really small and then fold when she got raised. So like the small sizing, weaker. I go, all right. Dude on my right, there's someone in between us. She's the button. I'm the big blind. Dude on my right looks down at ace queen and I see his hand. And now there's different ways to go about this. I think the right way is if you see someone's hand, you should say it. So I see dude's hand. He has ace queen off and he just mucks in the small blind. So he has an ace. And yeah, he just mucks. I go, I think I saw your hand. Like, um, I believe he had ace queen. Like, I'm the big blind. I haven't even looked at my hand yet. I say, I'm pretty sure he had ace queen. And he's like, I did. So the whole table knows he has ace queen now. I look down at my hand. I got 28 bigs, 56,000. I have jack 10 of spades. So I'm never going to cold call a 3-bet here. I'd say probably you should just fold. But I seen the small 3-bet and she got me. I go, this is weak. Like, she's just not going to call off. I sail it on in there. I seen the ace queen. Like, he has an ace. Like, less likely she has an ace. And yeah, folds back to her. She did not have an ace. She had 2 of them.
Two
And
tenths.
she got me. She had
Yeah.
the aces.
Yeah.
And you know what? I went with my gut. I said, the size feels weak. She's not going to call off. Like, this is a big pickup for me. Like, I'm going to get it through. I don't think other people are picking up on this raise size. And you know what? I'm the donkey today because she got me and I'm just out.
I mean, anybody over 63 betting, what do you think? What bluffs do
Not
they
here,
have?
though. I'd say typically, like in Florida, sure, you're right. But people know what's going. Even like I think that's why I've done much better out here. The average recreational still has an idea of poker and like is somewhat studied. So they all have 3-bet bluffs. I don't care if they're 80 years old drinking their coffee known as old man coffee. The shit's not true.
I would not see that here ever. I don't think I've ever seen it here.
I used
A
to say
3-bet.
an example like this all the time where like when I used to play in Florida, let's say I opened cutoff with 2 nines with like off 30 bigs, let's say. I'm praying the button 3-bets me. And I just have the easiest 4-bet all in. Or I'm sorry, that's in Vegas. Where when I was in Florida, let's say I opened the cutoff with 2 nines and the button 3-bets. I'm like,
Snapple.
I'm almost set mining if they made it small enough. Where like here, it's like, please 3-bet me. Like I'm gonna fold out so many fucking hands that are flipping with me. Like all these 3-bet bluffs, like King Jack off, Jack 10 suited, all this kind of stuff. Like I'm just gonna fold out. Where in Florida, like I don't think those hands are 3-betting. They're just gonna flat, or they might even fold. Who knows?
Yeah, those hands are never 3-betting.
But yeah, you actually cannot fall for the stereotypes like, oh, this guy's old, he's 3-betting me, he has it. Like, you really should not play like that. At least out here, where people are like the worser players are still like studied and have an idea. Like, you can't play like that. Like, I used to fold to these old people all the time, and then I caught one of them. I had a hand I couldn't fold, and I caught one of them, and now I catch them all the time. They know what their image is.
You got Richie Hunt on Twitter.
Wait, so if you're 80 years old, don't fucking bluff me because I'm going to call you. I don't fold to the old people anymore. I'll fold to a fucking 20-year-old kid before I fold to these guys now.
Wow, that's an ageist comment. You're against the old people.
I'm not against the old people, but I'm not just folding to them. Like, a lot of people just fold to them. They're like, he must have aces. It's just not true. They know their image.
Here in Florida, they just have it. I mean,
do you see it? Do you see their hand?
Yeah. It's they get called by some idiot with like King Jack or something. They'll have here. I've never seen a 3-bet bluff by anybody over 60. I have yet to see it.
I've seen these guys in the streets here, and I'm calling them out. I'm putting them on blast. They're not going to get away with it for much longer.
I guess out west they're built different.
Out west, they're in the streets, man. We're not sitting around waiting for aces and kings out here.
Not out here in the east. Florida, they just keep it 2 tenths.
Yeah.
It's either aces. If they're feeling frisky, it's kings. But that's about it.
Yeah, I mean, I used to live there. I agree. Especially
day twos. Day twos, you see a 3-bet from an OMC. It's aces. It's so tight. It's insane. We got Richie Hunt on Twitter ask, can I bet on how many days into this challenge that Tice shuts it down? Beck's about to crush his soul. Damn.
Yeah. Obviously he in his last, or I guess his only big prop bet, he quit early versus Bill Perkins. Yeah, I don't think that'll happen. I think he's going to stick it out for the whole time. Even if he were to quit, like, our deal is a crossbook. So basically Berkey would just be betting against me at that point. But
that's talk about this. What if he decides, I mean, what are the clause on, like, if somebody gets sick, if you miss a week?
I mean, we have arbitrators. I'm not exactly positive on the clause of if someone gets sick or whatever, but it's all figured out. There's also like somewhat of like a gentleman's agreement that like we're gonna play throughout the whole summer. You know, like let's say someone binks something right away, like you're not just gonna stop playing. We have the agreement that we're gonna both put in full summers. Um, Also, I think I wanted to say it earlier. So I think for poker, obviously, it will be much better if me and Landon are both doing well. We're both deep in tournaments rather than one of us burying the other one. So, like, yeah, I'm against Landon. Like, I guess I should want him to just brick everything, but I don't, you know. I think I'm gonna have a big summer. Um, I hope I win more than him, but I'm not rooting for him to just get absolutely buried, you know?
Of course.
Um, I would love it if like we both come out the gates with like a deep run, you know, like I hit a 50K score right off the bat, then he hits a 60, then I hit 100. Like how sick would that be? But obviously, we're playing tournaments with thousands of players in the fields. I mean, the odds are we both fucking break even or slightly lose for the whole summer. We both do nothing. A lot of like 80th places, no cashes. Like odds are something like that happens. Like that's what tournaments are. But hopefully it won't. Hopefully it's exciting and we both are making some runs. But yeah, I think I'm gonna crush him.
I think so too. You're definitely a favorite in my opinion. In the live streets, you're a big favorite. But who knows? Again, tournaments, you're dealing with short-term variance. Anything can happen. But
I'm actually
in a,
doing something.
in a
I
perfect
feel what? You could
in
go.
a perfect world, you're gonna crush.
Yeah. I'd say after I've played like these Poker Go series or whatever it is, whenever I play like I actually just yesterday got second place in a circuit event. Pretty tilted. I blew it heads up for a ring to get into Tournament of Champions. But part of it, I'd say, is I played two 10Ks at the Win this past week. They had these 1 day high rollers. And I'd say whenever I played like these big buy-in events, usually right after I crush. I don't know if it's because I'm playing better competition in those and then like I'm ready and I'm at the top of my game at that point and then I go in playing like lesser level players. But what I'm doing is I'm playing the US Poker Open at the beginning of April here in Vegas, which are all big buy-in events. And then I'll be flying to Florida um, for like the last few days of their series to play the main. And I think they have a couple like 10, I think they have a 10K, a 2K, a 5K, a 25K. Now, hopefully, I'm in the main and like I can only play that. But if I'm out, I'll be playing the bigger buy-in stuff there. And then from there, I'm flying to Houston. They have a Poker Go is having a series there for like 10 days, which they've never done, not in the studio here, but they're doing it at Champions Club in Houston. All big buy-in events. I'll be going to that. So I'm trying to play a bunch of high buy-in stuff pre-World Series to really like just get me ready. And then after those events, like just in my like past history, like I tend to just crush the smaller stuff. So I'm gonna play these high buy-ins, hopefully get a high score, hopefully do well in those. But at the very worst, let's say I don't, like I'm expecting to go into the series fucking ready to go, you know? If that
I
makes
like
sense.
it.
I feel like these bigger buy-in stuffs just prepare me to play better.
And that you're gonna play the 10K, Hollywood, and all the big events to be ready for
I mean,
Vegas.
hopefully not. Hopefully I'm just going to Hollywood for the main and then I'll be playing some bigger stuff in Houston.
I heard there's a documentary going on in the background. I heard a little story that there's a documentary going on about you, Dean Eggs, and a couple other big time pros. Tell us a little bit about it. I know you can't go into detail about name,
Um,
what channel it's being broadcasted on or anything, but just tell us a little bit about it if you
yeah,
can.
hopefully if all works out, I'll be in a documentary featuring me, Daniel, and three other players. Don't really want to name them. Don't think I'm really supposed to say anything. But everyone knows the other 3 players as well. And yeah, I mean, I really just can't say much right now. Not sure if I could
You
get
can
into
keep it.
trouble
You
or
can you
whatnot.
can leave it at that. When is the air time? You know when it's gonna air?
So a little bit of filming happened, and the rest will be filmed during the World Series. It's basically like days in the life. Like, what's it like?
Oh, nice. Are they gonna be following you with the camera, like while you're kind of like inside the mind of a pro type of deal,
I
or you
don't think
can't
it's.
talk about that either?
It will be followed by like cameras, but I don't think it's supposed to be like inside the mind of a pro. I think it's more just like day to day life, how you live during the World Series, really, from like 5 different players, all different like viewpoints, all different like levels. Like I don't think it's really strategy.
Interesting. That will get a lot of feedback for sure. I'll definitely watch it.
This was very last minute. You know, what was it? 12:30 a.m. Sunday night
Oh,
when we
trust me,
decided to do this.
I wasn't even prepared at all for you to come on. I was prepared to Jake. I have all the question for Jake. I can't believe he didn't come on.
Jake's got a young baby right now. They're sleeping. I try to get him on here. He's not having it.
Damn, Jake rejected us.
Jake,
Thank you, Jeremy, for coming on. Appreciate you coming on the pod. It was an emergency. I was, we weren't prepared, but thank you for explaining the crossbook.
yep.
Talk later.